Hi everyone, Ross Bob Squirrel here bringing you another Apex Legends video. And in this one, I'll be going over which legends I think are the best and worst picks for Winter Express. In case you missed it, Winter Express is a returning LTM that dropped on December 7th alongside the Raiders Collection event where you and your team are working to board and capture the train on World's Edge. New to this year's version, you can select which weapons you want from a predetermined set of loadouts. Note that these change every day. As a quick tip here, make sure you are changing the optics to whichever one suits your liking. Now let's get into the different legends and my recommendations for which legends to use. So we are using Tier Maker here, and I'm just going to be going in order that are listed here at the bottom. It should be alphabetical. So first, starting off, we have Bangalore, and for Winter Express, I really don't think her ultimate is that useful, just given that you have to be inside on the train. I think smoking though is very useful for her and being to run away very quickly. With all of that being said, I think that I'm gonna put her at C. I just don't think, again, her ult is really bringing her down in this mode. The smoke does help, but there are a lot of digi threats that you can get from the weapons. Next up, we have Bloodhound. The scans are really big to know exactly where people are. I think though, again, kind of his ultimate isn't the greatest their ultimate is not the greatest on this LTM, and tracking doesn't really make sense. I'm honestly gonna give Bloodhound a D. Caustic is huge. Caustic with his gas, his ultimate, and then running through other people's gas as well in case either of the teams have a Caustic as well. Caustic is huge. Personally, I'm going to give him S for Winter Express. Crypto. Now, Crypto is a great counter to what I just mentioned with Caustic, where you can go ahead and really get rid of the gas traps or anything along the lines of that, such as Watson fences, rampart cover, anything like that. So that's huge. It obviously is his ultimate. His passive really isn't great in this mode, doesn't really matter. Scanning people with his drone doesn't really matter as well. So for this, I'm gonna give him a B just because of his ultimate is huge to help overtake the train. Next up, we have Fuse. And with this, Fuse is great. Fuse with his Knuckle Cluster is really huge at getting in the train and hurting enemies that way, just because of how much damage it does and how far it now spreads. His ultimate is also pretty great. So I'm going to give Fuse also a B. I think that he's pretty solid of a choice for Winter Express. Next up, Gibraltar. So again, kind of the same thing with Bangalore. He doesn't really get to utilize his ultimate in this mode just because most of the time you are going to be inside on the train. The bubble does come in clutch, and his arm shield does come in clutch as well. All those make sense minus his ultimate. So with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and give him a B as well. The bubble is huge for the whole team perspective, and again, his arm shield is great. Horizon. Okay, so with Horizon, being able to gravity lift up can be really helpful on certain spots of the map. I also think that her ultimate is great with everyone having nades, or even utilizing Caustic as well if you have a Caustic on your team, and her passive can be utilized well if you're jumping down really quickly and wanting to slide, not waiting for that delay. So I'm going to go ahead and give her a B also. Lifeline. So Lifeline, I don't think you can really use her package all that well. You can't res in this mode because as soon as you lose all your health, you get eliminated. Health Drone kind of seems mediocre as well in this mode just because you heal so fast with both your syringes and your cells in this mode. I'm honestly giving Lifeline an F. I don't think you should pick her at all in this mode. Next up, we have Loba. Again, kind of don't think it makes sense to use her ultimate. Doesn't really seem great. Can't really pick up too much, just some ammo that gets dropped. Bracelet can kind of come in clutch a little bit at times, but I feel like in rare occasions, and her passive just doesn't really make sense in this mode either. So I'm gonna give her an E for Winter Express. Mirage. Now Mirage can be pretty good to fake out some people, obviously with his decoys. You can't res as well, just like with Lifeline, so that kind of goes away. Ultimate can be a little bit confusing, so I am gonna go ahead and give him a D right here. I think the ult really can be powerful, and you do get it relatively quickly, so that's helpful as well. Octane, let's see. So, he's got his passive again, where we can go ahead and stim. We lose some health, but we can heal that back really fast if we wanted to. Bounce pad can make sense on certain instances. I just don't think he's the greatest legend. Like, it just doesn't really make sense on here. I think you can kind of get around the map relatively easily anyways with the different like the airlifts on the side of the train track. So I'm honestly gonna give him an E. I don't think he's that great for Winter Express. Pathfinder. So Zipline kind of doesn't really make sense too much, kind of the same thoughts in my opinion as Octane. You know, as we all know, Pathfinder doesn't really have a passive, so that's gone. But the grapple can come in clutch, I think even more so than Octane's stim, and to an extent Octane's bounce pad in this mode. So I'm going to go ahead and give Pathfinder level D. Next up, Rampart. Rampart honestly is right up there with Caustic. The shields are huge. Sheila is absolutely so powerful, and again, now that Sheila can be moved, you know, freely. Great legend to pick for this mode. Super beneficial to have, so I'm gonna give her an S as well. Next we have Revenant. The totem can honestly come in clutch to go ahead and try to capture the train and get sent back. You could even do that, you know, really quickly on the back of the train if someone's at the front. The Rev silencers are also great. You know, so people can't use their abilities. And then his climbing can be used somewhat, not great in this mode. I'm gonna go ahead though and give him an A, just having the totem is huge. Next up is Seer. Now with Seer, the ultimate can be great for knowing exactly where people are. I kind of think just with it being 2 other teams, it doesn't really make the most sense. Using his tactical can be a little bit advantageous to know how low people are and to stop them from healing, but again, you do heal really fast anyways in this mode, so it doesn't really matter all that much. And aiming down the sights with his passive also doesn't seem the most beneficial in this mode. So I'm gonna give him a C. Next up, Valkyrie. So Valkyrie is great because when you're dropping and when you hit the airlifts on the side of the train tracks, you can use your passive to see where the people are exactly really quickly. So that's really beneficial just because it happens naturally when you do it. You don't even have to think about it. So that's really nice. Her ult doesn't really make that much sense. Her tactical can do great damage and stun people. So that helps, but again, her ultimate really isn't that great. So I'm also going to give her a C. And then next up we have Watson. I think Watson is pretty close up there to Caustic and Rampart for sure. She can go ahead, obviously put her fences down, and now her ultimate, and that charges people again, even though we do charge fast in this mode with the shield cells. Still beneficial to have to pull in the throwable ordinances from the enemy teams. I think that she's going to be S tier as well. She's huge. These 3 are great. Wraith, Portal can kind of make sense at certain times. The phase is great, obviously. The passive doesn't really make a big difference, I think, with being aimed down when there's just these 2 teams. You know that you're fighting anyways, excuse me. So I think with Wraith, I'm going to give her a C. I don't think she's super great in this mode. And then last up, I know that Ashe isn't on here. This is from season 10 list that I could find, but Ashe, her ultimate can get you where you need to go really quickly, to capture the train or to get on it right when you need. So that's pretty good. Sticking people or tethering them, whatever you would like to call it, is also really great in this mode. You can't see death boxes, so it doesn't really make the most sense. So I think I'm going to give her a B here as well. So I hope you guys found this informational. Definitely go ahead and utilize Caustic, Rampart, or Watson. If you can have all 3 on your team, I guarantee you're going to be winning most of your games, if not all of them, with that type of team. If you can lock down the train, you can have that set. Really hard to counter them, especially Rampart with her shields. She's so overpowered in this mode, same with Caustic and Watson. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys and that you can win some more Winter Express games. But thank you for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.